Here is a fact that should be impossible. 4,500 years ago, a civilization with no steel, no wheels, no cranes, and no modern technology built a structure so perfectly engineered that we cannot fully replicate it today. The Great Pyramid of Giza. It contains 2.3 million stone blocks. The average block weighs 2.5 tons, as heavy as a modern car. The heaviest weigh 80 tons, heavier than a space shuttle. It is aligned to true north with an accuracy of 0.05 degrees, more precise than the Greenwich Observatory in London. For 3,800 years, it was the tallest structure on Earth. And here is the question that has driven scientists, historians, and conspiracy theorists mad for centuries. How did they do it? Today, we finally have the answer. And it is more extraordinary than any theory you have ever heard. Before we talk about how they built it, we need to understand what they built, because the numbers are almost incomprehensible. The Great Pyramid covers an area of 13 acres. You could fit the cathedrals of Florence, Milan, and St. Peter's Basilica in Rome inside its footprint, simultaneously. It contains enough stone to build a wall 3 feet high around the entire country of France. The mortar holding the stones together is stronger than the stones themselves, and we still don't fully understand what it's made of. The 4 sides of the pyramid are aligned almost perfectly to the 4 cardinal directions: north, south, east, west. The margin of error is less than 1/10 of 1 degree. To achieve this precision today, we would use GPS satellites and laser technology. The ancient Egyptians used stars. The interior chambers are aligned so precisely that on the spring and autumn equinox, sunlight travels down a narrow shaft and illuminates the pharaoh's chamber for exactly a few minutes before disappearing. This was not an accident. Every single measurement, every single alignment, every single stone was placed with deliberate, extraordinary precision by human hands, without machines. Which raises the question, who were these people? And how did they possibly do this? For almost 2,000 years, the Western world believed one thing about the pyramids. They were built by slaves. The Bible suggested it. Hollywood confirmed it. Millions of movies showed Egyptian slaves whipped and beaten, dragging stones under the blazing sun. It was a powerful image. It was also completely wrong. In 1990, a horse stumbled near the pyramids and fell into a hole in the ground. Archaeologists investigated. What they found changed everything. An entire city, hidden under the sand for 4,500 years. The Workers' City. It had bakeries producing thousands of loaves of bread daily. Breweries producing massive quantities of beer. Medical facilities with evidence of advanced surgical procedures, including successful skull surgery. The workers ate beef, sheep, and goat, high-quality protein diet that would have been impossible to provide to slaves. They found administrative records, detailed records, worker rosters, salary payments, promotion records. These men were paid. They had titles. Some rose through the ranks to become supervisors and overseers. Archaeologists found graffiti left by work gangs. Proud, boastful graffiti. Names like Friends of Khufu, Drunkards of Menkar. Work gangs competing with each other, bragging about their achievements. These were not broken slaves. These were skilled workers, craftsmen, engineers, laborers, who took enormous pride in what they were building. We know they received 10 loaves of bread and a jug of beer per day. We know their doctors performed amputations and the patients survived. We know they were given time off for festivals. And we know that when they died, they were buried with honor near the pyramids they built. Not thrown away like slaves. Buried, respected, remembered. The pyramid was not a prison. It was a national project. The greatest construction project in human history, carried out by willing hands. So we know who built the pyramids. Now, the question everyone actually wants answered. How did they move 2.3 million stones? For centuries, this was the greatest mystery in archaeology, and it inspired some truly extraordinary theories. Aliens, levitation, lost technology, secret knowledge from Atlantis. The real answer is both simpler and more impressive than any of those theories. Step 1. The quarry. Most of the pyramid stones came from a quarry less than half a mile away. Workers used copper chisels and dolerite balls to cut blocks from the limestone bedrock. It was brutal, precise work, cutting stone with stone, day after day after day. Step 2. The sledge. In 2014, archaeologists made a discovery that solved one of history's greatest mysteries. A tomb painting in Middle Egypt, 3,800 years old, showed workers moving a massive statue on a wooden sledge. And in front of the sledge, one worker was pouring water on the sand. Scientists tested this. Wet sand reduces friction by up to 50%. A stone that requires 100 men to drag on dry sand only requires 50 men on wet sand. The Egyptians had discovered the physics of lubrication 4,000 years before Newton. Step 3. The ramp. As the pyramid grew taller, workers built ramps to drag stones to higher levels. Evidence suggests they used a combination of external straight ramps and internal spiral ramps winding inside the structure. In 2017, French archaeologists used cosmic ray technology and discovered a hidden void above the Grand Gallery, a previously unknown chamber. The pyramid is still giving up its secrets. Step 4. The workforce. At its peak, approximately 20,000 workers labored on the pyramid simultaneously, organized into crews of 200, supervised by foremen, fed by an industrial-scale food operation. They worked in 3-month rotations, then returned home while a fresh crew arrived. This wasn't chaos. This was an industrial operation of staggering sophistication, and they completed it in approximately 20 years. 2.3 million stones. 20 years. 20,000 workers. That means they placed one stone every 2 minutes, day and night, for 2 decades, without stopping, without machines, without anything we would recognize as modern technology. Just human intelligence, human organization, human will. But here is the question historians rarely ask. Why? Why did 20,000 people spend 20 years of their lives building a tomb? The answer reveals something profound about ancient Egyptian civilization. For Egyptians, death was not the end. It was a transition. The pharaoh, Khufu, was not just a king. He was a living god, the bridge between the human world and the divine. When Khufu died, his spirit, his Ka, needed a home. A home worthy of a god. A home that would last forever. And the pyramid needed to last forever. Because if the pharaoh's spirit was lost, the entire cosmic order would collapse. The sun would stop rising. The Nile would stop flooding. Egypt would cease to exist. Building the pyramid wasn't just a construction project. It was an act of cosmic survival. Every worker who dragged a stone up that ramp believed, genuinely believed, that without his effort, the world might end. That is why they worked with pride. That is why they signed their work with graffiti. That is why, when they died, they were buried near the pyramid as heroes. They weren't building a tomb. They were holding the universe together. And for 4,500 years, whatever they did, it worked. The Great Pyramid of Giza is the only one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world still standing. Every other wonder, the Hanging Gardens, the Colossus of Rhodes, the Lighthouse of Alexandria, gone. The pyramid remains. It has survived 4,500 years of wars, earthquakes, floods, and the slow erosion of time. It was ancient when Julius Caesar stood at its base and stared up in awe. It was ancient when Napoleon's soldiers camped in its shadow. It will likely still be standing when everything we have built today is dust. And here is what strikes me most. The men who built it, their names are lost. We know a few foremen, a few overseers, but the 20,000 workers who actually placed those 2.3 million stones, unknown, forgotten, gone. And yet their work is the most visited, most photographed, most studied structure in human history. They came, they worked, they built something that outlasted every empire, every language, every civilization that has risen and fallen since. The pyramid was supposed to make one man, Khufu, immortal. Instead, it made everyone who built it immortal. If this changed how you see history, subscribe. Because the greatest stories aren't about kings and pharaohs. They're about the people who did the actual work and left something behind that time cannot touch.